Good morning. Sun shining this morning and I feel so good. And I woke up and everything's green again. The snow is gone. I need to get outside today. I have one word that keeps coming to me, and it's been a lesson in the last. I had a conversation last night with someone. It comes up to me a lot. It's a big word. I think it's a big life lesson for me. Authenticity. How often do we put ourselves out there? We build up this wall around ourselves. We try to be somebody that we're not. We try to morph ourselves. I know as empaths, it's a really big thing for a lot of us. We try to be somebody that we may not necessarily be because I don't know if we're protecting ourselves. That little girl inside of us that doesn't want to be hurt, little boy, whoever that might be. Or part of it is also trying to protect those around us. Constantly trying to be something that we're not so that we will be accepted, so that we won't feel so different. Because I think as empaths, a lot of us do feel very different. We feel very much like we are on an alien planet sometimes, just too sensitive to everything around us. The lighting, the sounds, the smells, the feelings of other people, everything. And when we're young and when we don't really understand it, it can feel a lot like a torture chamber, this earth can, because we're told over and over again, you're too sensitive. Hi Teresa, you're too sensitive. You cry too easy. You get sick too easy. You're too, reactive to everything around you. And we build up this wall thinking that we have to protect that person that's down inside of us that is too sensitive. It's hard for us to learn to be authentic to who we really are. But we didn't come here to try to please anyone else. We didn't come here to try to be what this world wants us to be. We came here because we have this beautiful mission, this mission of loving other people, of healing other people, of becoming a light in the darkness, really. So, authenticity is my word here at my age. I think I'm finally figuring that out. I have to be authentic. I have to be who I am down inside. Who is this person? It may be so many facets. It's always so many facets. We are so much. We have so much. We carry so much with us from things that we've picked up in this lifetime, things that we've picked up in the last lifetime, lessons learned. I think that's my most beautiful thing this past few months is coming back into that Akash and learning more or waking up more to maybe the past life lessons, the things that I've carried through from other go-arounds, because wow, this life is hard and it's difficult. The things that we have to learn here, they're so difficult sometimes. They're so painful. How beautiful is it when we learn how to start remembering who we really are and how incredible we really are. So last night, it's been on my brain a lot lately because I feel like it's really important. I feel like it's important for people to know that when this book came about, this Anchor Light, I have it right here, this pretty little book that Caleb did such a beautiful job on the cover. There's this part of me when I was writing it and when I was finishing it, there was this part of me that was like, what if, because these things were so deeply ingrained, because they came out of those tender moments of mine when I was really feeling authentic, when I was off sitting by the lake or, whatever, I was someplace in fairy tale land. I was in my own little inner sanctum as I wrote this book. And I was picking up a lot from the healing sessions, obviously, with Paul. So a lot of those, they came from lessons learned along the way as I was healing, as I was coming out of a huge pain. So this book is like my heartbeat. And I wondered, what is this book for? Who is it going to help? Why am I doing this? I asked the universe over and over again, is this even going to be something that anybody's going to respond to? It's so simple. And maybe people will think, oh, it's just too simple and it's not going to do me any good. And one big thing that has come to me over and over again is it's good. It's it's intuitively something that speaks to your heart. I hope that it helps you to open up your heart. And one big thing that keeps repeating to me is people that are early on their journey, children, are coming into the planet that are so much more intuitive. They're so much more, they carry so much more of their Akash. And a lot of their lessons are just waiting there. They're very, very close. They're easy for them to grasp onto, easier than us older people. And so writing in simple words like this, in simple little parables, seems to be the way that Spirit is reaching out to these little souls that are ready to wake up. They're waking up faster than the rest of us. And so that's how I see this book. It's not for just for young children necessarily. It's for those people that are early on their journey, that are starting to wake up, and intuitively they're beginning to see signs. And they're wondering, what is this? Why am I seeing these things? What is it? Why is there so much synchronicity? Why do these numbers keep popping up? Why do I see these signs and these people come into my life that seem to answer my questions? Right when I had that question, all of a sudden I found the answer. And they're wondering why. Why is all this happening? And I remember being right there. Still get that way sometimes. I'm still that little child with, the questions. Why? So in a lot of ways, this book answered a lot of things for me too. As I read it now, I still feel intuitively like it's leading, like it's guiding, like it's trying to show me a pathway to those things that maybe I needed a little help. I think as I was writing it, it was my pathway to opening up different parts of me, to becoming more authentically myself, to accepting the fact that I am an empath, that I am super sensitive. Oh my gosh, as you open up to that, the sensitivities just grow bigger and bigger and bigger. And I think many of us are afraid of that. We're afraid that as we open up, oh my gosh, we've spent our whole lives being super sensitive. We have had, people have told us our whole lives to stop it, to knock it off, to grow up, to stop crying, to, whatever. And to hide all that big heart of ours. We've been taught to just cover it up and not let it shine. So as we accept and become more who we really are, authentically ourselves, as we realize that this is not a disease, it is not a weakness, it is a superpower. This is what makes you incredible. And the more you allow it to make you incredible, the more you expand, the more you fall into that deep emotion, that well, that huge heart that you hold inside of you, the more exquisite it becomes. Life becomes absolutely delicious. In a way, think about your absolute favorite foods and how it tastes when you've been without that food for a long time and you put it in your mouth. And it's like your eyes roll back in your head and you're like, wow, that is the most incredible taste. I remember during some of my pregnancies going through that, oh my gosh, when you just know that there's something, that craving that you've got to have, and you get it in your mouth and you're like, oh my gosh, that was so good. That is who we become as we allow ourselves to intuitively grow and expand and become authentically who we are. The superpower of ours, it's not just here to give to others. It's here because it's also a gift to ourselves. It's a gift in a way that we suddenly learn or remember what it feels like to be a part of source energy, a part of the entire universe, a part of everything. And so as we do that, the colors, the green trees against the blue sky, the rainbows, the butterflies, there is so much. As I was really, really waking up to myself after Steve passed and my heart was just wide open, there was so many things that I was like, wow, why did I not notice this before? Why did I not pull over and spend my time just watching a sunset? I just didn't do that when I was younger. I didn't appreciate it. And then as I became more and more open to who I really am, more authentic, the world became more beautiful. And the people and the compassion. There's so much compassion for those around me, and it's something that I had a hard time finding. Hi, Stacy. It's a hard time, getting into that place where we allow ourselves to really be authentically open to those around us, to the pain. It's letting go of that little girl again, letting go of her, not letting go, letting her go, letting her just come out to play And to be that little child that's not afraid of being hurt, that just will curl up in somebody's lap and snuggle in and fall asleep in complete comfort and not be afraid. Not be afraid. Just letting go of fear. And it's so beautiful. So I hope all of you that are afraid of being authentic to yourselves, of becoming that true empath, of finding compassion within yourself for yourself and then for others, and allowing it to grow and expand and become the most beautiful sensitivity, superpower. I want to say it. I'm going to say it. You're going to become a badass, an empathic badass. You're going to start like feeling things that are deeper than you've ever felt things before. So I hope, and I would like to read a piece of this book, and I don't know if anybody wants to listen, but I hope that somehow that you can see past the simplicity of the words on the pages. And as you read it, you feel in your heart something changing. And I hope that you'll get copies and give it to every child that you know that is super sensitive, that is hiding in that corner, that's afraid of bullies, that's afraid of the teachers, that's afraid of being hurt. I feel like this book needs to just be plastered. It needs to go out to all these young people and these new empaths that are just waking up to who they really are. It is here. It was written. It was not necessarily written by me, and I think that's why I can stand here and say I want you to give it out. I think if I think, oh well, I just wrote it, it's no big deal, then it's like, yeah, I can just let it fall away. But it's not just me. This was very intuitively written. It was channeled in many ways, and it was made simple this way for a reason. The original book that we wanted to write was nothing like this. Something happened after a healing session, one particular healing session that he and I had, and all of a sudden something came rolling out. And then every day a little bit more would come rolling out. There was a connection made with a higher power for sure. And it just came, just tumbling out. And it's not perfect, but it has a purpose. It's imperfectly perfect in its own perfection. I'll probably come on later. I could be convinced to read a little bit right now. I don't want this to go too long, and I'm going to put on my glasses because I'm authentically going blind to read. But there is one that I was reading last night, if I can find it quickly, that was very much, it's right at the end of the book, and it was really my heartbeat. By the time I got to the end of this book, it was exactly where I was. And I hope that, yes, this is the one. I'm going to read it. If you can listen to me for a few minutes with my old funny glasses. This is called The Lighthouse. The captain stood in front of the mirror, looking at the heavy coat that she wore. This was the coat that showed the world what she had wanted them to see. It was a coat that covered her insecurities and scars. Safely hidden within the wool and buttons, she appeared strong and fierce. She couldn't even remember the day she had decided to wear this coat. It was like another lifetime, and she had grown weary under the weight of it. She slowly released the buttons and allowed the coat to fall to the floor. It was as if the weight of the world had been lifted from her, and she sighed in relief. Her eyes were drawn to the wardrobe, and she opened the doors to reveal the dress that she had worn before she had set it aside to take on the role of the pirate captain. She had forgotten that it was still there. Tenderly, she reached out, and she ran her hands over the silky fabric. It felt as if the gown was made from the softest seawater as it flowed through her fingers. Love flooded her soul as she remembered the girl that she was before she had grown so fierce and cold. She wondered if she could still wear this dress. She lifted her arms and allowed it to flow over her head, and in that simple action, she transformed. She looked at herself. She could see that the tough pirate was gone. The dress did not hide her scars the way the coat had, but those scars had only brought more beauty. These were the marks of a woman who had survived all of life's storms and battles. They were not imperfections at all. They only made her more beautiful. The dress allowed her true self to shine, and she realized that she had been wrong. It is not in hiding herself under these layers of protection that made her more worthy of respect. It was in letting go of that heavy coat that the world would see how truly amazing she really was. She knew that it was time to allow a change. It was time to shine so brightly that she would be like a lighthouse in the darkness of a world that was lost at sea. The coat would stay there on the floor. She would no longer be burdened under the weight of it. With a soft dress flowing gently around her, she stepped out of her cabin and into a brand new life. I hope that other people will read it. It's like a baby to me. It's my heartbeat. I hope that you'll read it. I hope that you'll give it away. I hope that you'll share it with people that need a little lift, that need to know that they can authentically be themselves, that they can learn to be. Just be. Just be. Let go of everything sometimes. Just let it all fall to the floor. And just learn that you are incredible and perfect and amazing. And you are a superhero. And you have so much to offer. Let yourself authentically be just exactly who you are. Don't cover it up. No more covering it up. Because it's in letting go of the fear that we won't be accepted. It's time. There was years when we had to cover up who we were. There was generations, there was lifetimes when we had to hide who we were. We couldn't allow ourselves to shine. Because if we did, bad things happened. Really bad things happened. This is the lifetime when we get to come out and shine. Don't be afraid of it anymore. Take off that big old heavy coat that's been hiding who you really are. And allow yourself to put on that silky garment that's beautiful and glowing and shows your true self. And have a beautiful day.